Next, we're going to talk about factors that are binomial factors. So factors that are not just monomials, but binomials. And so if we look at number 64, here we have this term, and this term includes the factor of y plus 4 and 3. Okay, so y itself isn't a factor because it's being added to 4, right? Factors are things you multiply. And so so y plus 4 is a package deal. You can't factor out the y without the 4, and you can't factor out the 4 without the y. Okay, so but you notice that so if this is one factor and this is the other, right? It's basically factorized, and here we have a factorized term, and you notice that they have y plus 4 in common, right? So that's actually the common factor. So we're going to write the y plus 4 on the outside, and then we're going to open up parentheses, and we're going to put the leftovers 3 and z, so 3 plus z back on the inside. Okay, so essentially what we're doing is we're dividing by y plus 4, right? So this cancels out with this, and this cancels out with this, so all we're left with is the 3 plus z. Okay, and that's how our answer is going to be. Now, don't forget to put parentheses around the y plus 4. If you forget that, that's not exactly the same thing, right? If I did it like this, that doesn't mean the same thing, right? That would just be 4 distributed by 3 plus z. But I want to make sure that y plus 4 is all together, right? This whole thing is a package deal like we talked about, so we need those parentheses. All right, so if you look at 68, and hopefully these are pretty obvious, like what's the common factor here? X minus 2, right? They share that. Okay, so I'm going to factor out of x minus 2. So I'm going to put x minus 2 on the outside, and then on the inside I'm going to put the leftovers. So if I divide by x minus 2, I just get x left over. Okay, and then here if I divide by x minus 2, so here they cancel out, and anything divided by itself is 1, right? So it's going to be negative 1. Negative divided by a positive is a negative, and so we just get x minus 1 inside the parentheses. All right, so 70, so here they have a w plus 2 in common, but they have exponents, right? So just like a variable, if they have something in common, if they have a term in common, then I want to pick the one with the smallest exponent. So they both have a squared, so that's the smallest exponent. So it's going to be w plus 2 squared that is my common factor. Okay, when I put the leftovers back in, I'm going to divide everything by w plus 2 quantity squared. So these cancel out and I just have w. And then when I divide here, and remember, you don't have to show this work. You can, if you can go straight to the answer, that's fine. And so when these cancel out, then I just have positive 8 left over. And so that's my answer. All right, so you can factor out more than monomials. If you see binomials that terms have in common, or that that they have in common, then you can factor that out as well. Okay, but once again, don't forget to put the parentheses around the binomial that is the common factor. Okay, so we still have the same format: GCF on the outside, leftovers on the inside. Okay, but now our GCF is a binomial.